So my name is Andrew Slezak, and this is the Barefoot Bootcamp workout, how I structure it and why I structure it how I do. I like to keep the same warm-up routine every single time I start a class. That way it's a consistent thing for me, it's mindless for me. It becomes mindless for a lot of the clients in class to go through the motions, and you can get better at the motions each time you do it, as opposed to having a different warm-up routine. People aren't able to get used to certain motions. So the first thing we're going to start out with is jumping jacks, just to get a heart rate going, get people moving, get the blood flowing, and start warming up. All right, so jumping jacks for about 45 seconds to a minute, sometimes 30 seconds depending on time. Sometimes the ladies like to come in and sit around and talk for a little bit, so always watch the clock. When I'm done with that, I still have a good full body movement, hands up high. We're pushing our hips forward, engaging our abs, reaching up high, and we're going to slowly reach down across. 1, 2, and I usually watch the clock for about 20 to 30 seconds on this one. Once again, the idea is we're getting our blood flowing, we're moving, and it's starting to warm up into the stretching. Go into trunk twist as we slowly start moving up our body, just creating movement. And then from trunk twist for about 20 to 15 seconds, it's real short. We usually just go to arm swings. Keep the arms up high, arms are engaged. And then depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes you throw in some arm circles. After the arm circles, we start breaking down into our stretching routine. And I always say, try to pick on different things to start focusing on activating different muscles. I like to think about warm up not just to stretch and sit there statically, but to learn to activate muscles to see how our body should move through space. So the first one I go through is the quadricep stretch. Pull back. A lot of times you see people grab the top of the foot. It's really not, it puts a lot of stress on the ankle, and we actually lose a good stretch, as opposed to if we grab the top of the ankle and we hook our foot around, we dorsiflex the ankle and squeeze the glute as we pull back, it will force the quads and psoas to relax. Also, on the opposite leg, straighten it out more. And once again, a common theme I always have in the class is the bracing sequence, bringing our hips up to our ribs by tightening up our abs, and you feel a flat back. So everything's in a straight line. I pull, squeeze the glute, keep the knees close together, gazing straight ahead. 1, 2, and it's more of a fast motion. Find it, activate, find it, activate. About 10 total, 5 each side, and then we bring it up front. Hit the glutes, hit the hamstrings. Start with the knee bent, go into a knee hug, cradling my baby, if I can balance. And I pull up, and I also lock the knee. As I pull this up, I straighten this leg out. And I also use my feet for balance, right? Warming up my arches here, try and pull everything together, squeezing the abs, and then pull through the shoulder blades. Instead of just hunching forward, pulling it in, work on our posture. Posture is another big theme of the class. So once again, 10 on each side. After that movement, we'll go into working our abs and activating, once again, our bracing sequence while stretching our hamstrings. So my favorite exercise is a dead bug. When we lay on our back, we're going to have our feet up high, about shoulder width apart. This right here is more of a relaxed position. I'm going to straighten my legs out as much as I can, dorsiflex the ankles, and pull my shoulder blades back to the ground. This right here, I feel my back's flat against the ground, all the way from the top of my tailbone to the top of my neck. And also push my head back. And the idea here is to feel how it feels, the appropriate sense of awareness of having a flat back. A lot of people have a hard time figuring out how to flatten their back out while standing up or without any kind of reference points to the ground. Right here, we can really feel the ground. We can see everything's at. So we're going to hold it for about 10-15 seconds. And you're also going to, you can start challenging the ab workout. After that, we roll over, and we're going to integrate that same ab contraction, the same brace sequence into everything we do. Now our foot's up high, keeping my abs tight. My hand is on inside the instep. I'm going to straighten out my back leg. I'm going to try and flatten out my hips by tightening up my abs. And when I leave my hands in the ground, I'm going to push back as far as I can. I'm going to leave my hands in the ground so that way my body realizes that there's an end range of motion for my hamstring and where that movement's at. Right, so I know how far I can push, my body knows how far I can push, and what it feels like to tighten up. My abs are staying tight, I'm trying to keep my back flat, shoulder blades relaxed, and then one on each side, push back, flatten the hips, squeeze the abs, push straight back into the heel, and then relax again. And then from there, I'll roll back into the dead bug. I like to integrate this one twice, only because I feel like it is that important to realize how we're going to activate our abs and where our hamstrings are, because everyone's always pulling hamstrings. So let's try and stay away from those injuries. After that, I like to come up and then once again integrate bracing the abs into a drop step back lunge. I'm going to drop the knee down and I'm driving my hips forward. When I reach up as high as I can. As I reach up high, we start to open up our shoulders and we have a tendency to bend our back, right? We want to learn how to fight that by keeping our abs tight and being able to reach up, open up our shoulders, and now you find a deep stretch in the shoulders by keeping the abs tight, as opposed to opening up and just reaching back as far as you can. Really keep it all tight. Stand up and switch. I usually tell people at 30 seconds, just go on your own, find where you are, find your stretch, feel your body, and learn. From there, we start going into more of a balance. So sometimes do a high kick, keeping the abs tight, and I'm keeping my shoulder blades back too, good posture. You can hug the world, and then come back up, and then switch sides. Bring it up high, keeping our abs tight, bracing, and bring it back up. Let's see, from there, we start going into more of a twist. So say feet wide, just outside of the mat. Drop the butt down, hands on the ground, and I'm gonna push back into my heels, driving through my palms, weight in the fingertips, and I'm gonna keep the hips flat, pushing my knees out. You don't want your knees to cave and twist. I wanna keep my knees out, find the end range of motion. Find the end range of motion. And there we go. So you get about 10 total, so it's 5 each side, about 20, 30 seconds. And then from there, we stand back up. Once again, brace, feet at hip width, hands out front. We want to get a good shoulder blade retraction into our posture. Pull the elbows back, and then we're going to bring our hands over and make our elbows kiss. But make sure we're not leaning back and moving. Once again, we're learning how to separate our body from our torso. So 1, 2. This is also a great stretch for the rhomboids and trapezius. A lot of people get tight, sitting all day long, so help them out there. From there, now that we're starting to get sweaty, we're warmed up, we want to start getting our body to move fast. Sometimes it's a fast-paced class. People are moving slow first thing in the morning, time to wake up. So we like to go into either quick feet forward, back as fast as we can, staying low for about 10 seconds, 3 times through, or you can stay low, hands together, quick feet wide out. So it's not hopping up and down, right? It's just quick, 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 quick. Fast feet. From there, after doing it 3 sets for 10 seconds, pop down. I always like to finish with an athletic burpee, so that way we're jumping in the air, we're getting a full body movement, and it really just wakes us up, primes your nervous system to move fast and explode. So I say down, and on my command, because we're looking for a response time, when I say up, pop up, jump up, catch and land in an athletic position, and then when I say down, we get back down. Do 5 athletic burpees, call it good, and get your workout going.